Hello everyone, this is Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new AK After a Saw review episode for today. This one's going to be on another film I saw last year in 2021, which this one I've been dying to review this film for a long time on my channel. And I thought today I should just review this straight away, and I should do this a bit quickly, a little bit, because I've got work, so I'm going to try my best to try and do this as quickly as possible before I leave the home. So today's review is going to be on the 2021 spy film, and this is the 25th film in this franchise that has been long running since 1962, and this is the 5th film of this actor who's portrayed this iconic character since 2006. And this movie's been long awaited ever since 2020, when this whole pandemic began. In this film is, of course, No Time to Die. So, No Time to Die. This is the final outing of Daniel Craig as James Bond, and this is his 5th Bond film he's ever done. And this film was directed by Cary, Joji, Fukunaga, and like I said, this is Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond, in which we see James Bond is no longer part of the active service of MI6. He's no longer a 00 agent. He's now since retired from all of that, where he starts to live a normal life, but then it gets cut short where his old friend Felix from the CIA, played by Jeffrey Wright, asks for his help, where it leads Bond to go on this trail about where he has to find out about this new mysterious villain he's going up against, who has a new dangerous technology that can threaten the globe. So that's pretty much the story of No Time to Die. Back in 2019, I remember seeing the trailer for this movie when I went to see The Rise of Skywalker. I went to see that movie with my dad, and we both saw the trailer for this movie, and of course, I was really excited for this movie, and I was also going to be way more excited to finally get to see a James Bond movie on the big screen, because I'd never really saw the previous 4 Daniel Craig Bond movies on the big screen. I never saw Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, or Spectre on the big screen. This was going to be the very first Bond film I've ever seen on the big screen. But I have watched the other 4 Bond films at home before. I've seen Casino Royale all the way to Spectre, and Casino Royale, I freaking love Casino Royale. It's a brilliant Bond film, and I tend to agree with everyone. It's one of the best Bond films ever. Daniel Craig. Back then, a lot of people were not. There was a lot of internet speculations on the internet about Daniel Craig being cast as Bond, until when that film came out, a lot of people were blown away with it, and I didn't even know about it until I started rewatching the film over and over again. And I just love Casino Royale even more. Quantum of Solace, which that's a follow-up to that one. It was sort of like a sequel to that one. I used to like that one when I was young, but going back to it, I don't think it's a great Bond film. There are a lot of issues with it, but it's not a bad film. There are a few things I did like in it, but there were a lot of issues with that one, and I think it's the worst in the Craig era of Bond. Skyfall, I freaking love Skyfall. It's one of my favorite Bond films, and I really want to see that on the big screen, but I didn't get a chance to. But my parents went to see it on the big screen, and they both loved it, and I watched it when I got my Blu-ray of it, and I freaking love it. It's one of my favorite Bond films. Spectre, I also want to see that in cinemas, but I didn't get a chance. But my parents saw this when I was at school, and I didn't watch it until I got the Blu-ray. And I think Spectre is a good movie. I thought it was great at first, but going back to it, I think it's a good movie, because a lot of people tend to have mixed opinions on Spectre. I don't think it's a bad film. I just think it's a good movie. And here that Daniel Craig was going to be doing his final outing as Bond, I was looking forward to seeing what he can do for his last outing as Bond, since this is his last Bond film. And as you guys may have noticed, this film got delayed numerous times because of the pandemic, and this was actually the very first film, one of those very first films to be affected by the pandemic. It got delayed numerous times. It was scheduled for April and November of 2020. Then it got scheduled for April and November of last year, and then decided to release it a bit earlier in October in the US. But we actually got this at the end of September, and I actually went to see this before the general public. I saw this at a staff screening at my job, and it was actually the very first staff screening I've ever been to at my job. And I went to see this with my dad because he was also excited for this movie, since he is a massive fan of James Bond. And I was really happy. I was so excited to see this movie, because I've been waiting for this film, and we've all been waiting for this film since 2020. And was this another film that would be worth the wait? You betcha. this movie was absolutely worth the wait, and I had an awesome time with No Time to Die. And thank God this movie did not disappoint me, and I just really loved everything about No Time to Die. And for Daniel Craig's final outing as James Bond, here in this movie, he gives it his all. He was amazing here in this movie, and I think this is definitely the best portrayal he's ever done as James Bond. Of course, he is the biggest, he's the best parts for his own take of James Bond and his own James Bond movies, from Casino Royale to Spectre. He's the best part of those movies, of course. But here, No Time to Die, I thought he was amazing here in this movie. And again, he gave it his all, and he was just so satisfying to watch on screen, since this is his last outing as James Bond. And it was such an emotional end for me to see him portraying James Bond one last time, since I think he is definitely one of the best actors to play James Bond. And for him playing his final role, I think this is definitely the best final outing of an actor playing James Bond. Because for the other James Bond actors, some of their last outings as James Bond haven't done well. Like they weren't as like this. They were just sort of like or something like that. But for No Time to Die, I thought they did a fantastic job here with that. And all the other acting all around here in this film were absolutely great. Léa Seydoux, she was great in the film. Ben Whinshaw, he was really good. And Ray Fiennes was really good. Naomi Harris was really good. Jeffrey Wright was great. All the actors from the original Bond films, from the Craig era Bond films, were great in the film. And for new additional cast in the film, they got Lashana Lynch from Captain Marvel. She was really good in this movie, and the chemistry between her and Daniel Craig in this film were pretty good in this movie, and pretty entertaining when we do see them bickering on about who's 007 and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty entertaining in this movie, and she was really cool for some of the action sequences here in this film. And Ana de Armas from Blade Runner 2049, she was awesome in the movie, and I would love to see her character in the future James Bond films. She was such a badass for some of the action sequences, alongside Daniel Craig for one scene. And for Rami Malek as the villain in this movie, he was great as the villain, but I wouldn't say he as great as like Mads Mikkelsen or Javier Bardem from Casino Royale to Skyfall, which those are the best villains in the Bond era. But Rami Malek did really good in this film, but I didn't think there was quite enough to his character in the film. But he wasn't awful. I just thought he did a really good job for his acting portrayal as the villain in this movie. The direction by Cary Joji Fukunaga it's a gorgeous looking film for the whole location shooting in this movie, and for the direction of those action sequences he's directed, he did a fantastic job of all that. Which some of the action were very well directed for some wide shots, as well as having intensity for some of those scenes. And I thought Cary Joji Fukunaga did a fantastic job with all of that. And there's so many brilliant action sequences in this film, like the bridge chase scene, like the car chase scene in the film, like the opening scene of the film, when we do see Bond jumping off the rope. That scene was awesome, and that's been shown multiple times in the trailer. So that's not technically a spoiler. So yeah, and there's one involving a bar that was really awesome, and one scene involving a foggy forest, which that was really intense, which I was pretty satisfied with that. And the final scene when we do see Bond and the villain come face to face, which that scene was really awesome and very exciting, and that scene mostly had me on the edge of my seat throughout that majority of that scene. And for other moments in the film that I found pretty satisfying, I was shocked with some of those moments that I didn't really see coming for what was going on, as well as it did have me in tears for what was going on, especially the way it concluded. I was genuinely in tears seeing all of that, especially for Daniel Craig's final outing as Bond, and for that, and to see the way it concluded there, I thought was just the perfect way to conclude an actor portraying James Bond. And like I said, it's definitely one of the best endings to see, best ending of an era for an actor playing James Bond. And the score by Hans Zimmer was amazing here, and some of those music scores in the film for some scenes gave me goosebumps, and it did have me moved as well when moments that did tend to have me crying. And the theme song by Billie Eilish is fantastic, and I love the theme song. It gave me goosebumps as well when I started hearing it being played in the film, and it did have me tears as well. And other than that, though, No Time to Die, and thank God it wasn't a disappointing film. It's everything I wanted to see for a final outing of Daniel Craig as James Bond. And I'm very pleased, and I was so pleased to finally see this movie on the big screen, since I've been waiting for this for a year, and we all did as well. And it's definitely one of my favorite films of this year. And if you missed your chance to see this in cinemas, it is available to stream on any app of your choice. And if you haven't got any app of your choice, I obviously do recommend you pick up the Blu-ray for your collection. It's definitely worth owning in your collection. I have watched this twice now on Blu-ray, and it looks incredible on Blu-ray, and I'm very happy to have this in my collection, since I really love this movie. So that's pretty much all I have to say about No Time to Die overall. I'm going to give No Time to Die 4.5 out of 5. I'm so happy this film did not disappoint me, and I'm also very pleased to I finally got a chance to see a James Bond movie in the big screen, since that I've always wanted to do that for the rest of my life, and my dream did come true. and this is again definitely worth the wait. Since we've been waiting for it since 2020, I'm very happy this finally got released, and thank God this film did not get even more pushbacks to like this year. So. I'm very pleased this is finally out. So thank you guys so much for watching for my AK Afterwards review on No Time to Die. And let me know what you think of this film if you have seen this already, or if you've just recently seen it. Did you had a blast of it, or were you massively disappointed with this film? So, and also I'd also like to know what is your favorite Daniel Craig Bond film as well. I would really love to hear that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews. And as always, this has been Fulgan's Media Corner signing off. Thank you.